Good morning, all of you. Now, today we are going to solve some examples now. You see here, example 1. An athlete is running on a circular track. He runs a distance of 400 meter in 25 seconds before returning to its original position. What is his average speed and velocity? So already in the first or second period we have seen that a circle is there. Okay, the athlete is running in a circle. Okay, and it's coming starting from the point same and coming to the same point. So he covers the distance up to 400 meter and in time is given 25 seconds. So what they are asking us to calculate average speed and velocity. So you see here, as we know that in a circle displacement is 0 as it is returning to its original position. So we will now formulas are there: average speed, total distance covered upon total time taken. So 400 upon 25, and that is 16 meter per second. Then average velocity, the formula is total displacement upon total time taken. Displacement, as we know, in a circular track is there, so 0 displacement upon 25 seconds, that is 0 meters per second. Okay. Now second example, an aeroplane taxis means movement on this road, that on the road runway is there, runway. So the aeroplane taxis on the runway for 30 seconds with an acceleration of 3.2 meter per second square before taking off. How much distance would it have covered on the runway? So what we have to do, we have to find the distance. Okay, the displacement. Okay, so we got the time and the acceleration. So acceleration 3.2 meter per second square, time is given 30 seconds, u is equal to 0, as we know that initial velocity is 0, and we have to find the displacement or the distance. So the formula is s is equal to ut plus half at square. So putting the values now, u 0, okay, then into t is 30, okay, plus half into a acceleration is 3.2 into 30, that is square, or 80 square. Now when you do the simplification of this, we will get now 1440 meter. Okay, that is the displacement. Now third example, a kangaroo can jump 2.5 meter vertically. Okay, so from the ground he can jump. Okay, what must be the initial velocity of the kangaroo? So we have to find the initial velocity of the kangaroo. So acceleration is given. Actually, on the acceleration, it is fixed on the ground, 9.8 meter per second square. Then displacement means that the distance 2.5 meter, velocity is 0, final velocity is taken as 0, and u is we have to calculate. So using this formula, v square is equal to u square plus 2as. So put this value here, v is nothing but 0 square is equal to u square, we have to find, plus 2 into a acceleration, that is 9.8, and why I have taken minus 9.8? Because it is in the opposite direction. The kangaroo is taking a jump, means it is away, it is moving away from the ground. Okay, so that's why we have taken minus into s, displacement is 2.5. Okay, now it is given negative sign is used as the acceleration is the direction opposite to that of velocity. Now u square, u 0, then u square, then if you simplify all this, okay, so you will get minus 49 u square as it, then I will shift this minus 49 to in this manner, so that will be u square is equal to 49. So u will be 7. Okay, so square root of that is 7, then 7 meter per second. So this, so example number 4, you will see that how it is solved. Okay, now next is the Newton's laws of motion. Okay, now we will see Newton's law of motion. What could be the reason for the following? Some examples are given, so we have to see what is the reason behind this. A static object means a stationary object, does not move without the application of a force. So one object is there, so it is stationary or it is not moving. So what does it move with? It doesn't move with the application, or if we are not applying any force, it will not move, it will be in rest only. Then the force which is sufficient to lift a book from a table is not sufficient to lift the table. Then fruits on a tree fall down when its branches are shaken. Then an electric fan keeps on rotating for some time even after it is switched off. So that is our regular experience, that when you switch off the fan, so for some time we can see that the fan is moving, okay, and after that it come to rest. So if we look for reasons for the above examples, we realize that object have some inertia. Inertia. What is inertia? The inertia is nothing but the tendency of a body to resist a change in the state of rest or state of motion. The tendency of a body to resist a change in the state of rest or state of motion. So we have learned that inertia is related to the mass of the object. Newton's first law of motion describes this very property and is therefore also called the law of inertia. So this in law of the inertia and the Newton's first law of motion. So in this now chapter we are going to study about three laws of Newton's law of motions. Okay, so they are called as the Newton's law of motion also. So all instances of inertia are examples of Newton's first law of motion. Okay. Now Newton's first law of motion. To get clear of this concept, we have to see one activity is there here. Fill a glass with sand. Okay, we have to fill a glass with sand. Keep a piece of cardboard on it. Then what we have to do? We keep a 5 rupee coin on the board. Now strike the cardboard with hard using your fingers. Observe what happens. So what they are asking to keep the 5 rupee coin on the board. Then what we have to do, we have to strike the cardboard, not the rupee coin. Okay, so when you will strike the cardboard hard, so what will happen, the cardboard will move away and the 5 rupee coin will go inside the glass. Okay, so that is the conclusion of this. Okay, now balance and unbalanced force. You must have played tug of war. Okay, generally this activity is conducted in school also. So long as the forces applied by both the sides are equal, I balance, the center of the rope is static in spite of the applied forces. So for example, if you are pulling that rope in tug of war, so if the forces are equal from both the sides, so what will happen, the center, the rope will be in stationary or is still stable in the center. On the other hand, when the applied forces become unequal, okay, so when the forces become unequal or one side is force is more than the other side, so what happens, a net force gets applied in the direction of the greater force and the center of the rope shifts in that direction. So that the center of the rope or whatever you are done the marking will go where the force is more. So an object continues to remain at rest or in a state of uniform motion along a straight line unless an external unbalanced force act on it. So this is the Newton's first law of motion. What it states that an object continues to remain at rest. Okay, so an object keeps on remain at rest or in a state of uniform motion, it is moving in a motion. So it will be in motion only along the straight line unless an external unbalanced force acts on it. So in both the cases, either it is in rest or it is in a state of motion or it is moving. So until and unless an unbalanced force is applied, so in rest it will move and in motion it will stop. Okay, so when an object is at rest or in uniform motion along the straight line, it does not mean that no force is acting on it. Okay, so if we are telling that one body is there, so it is in rest, okay, or in uniform motion, so it doesn't mean that no force is there. Actually there are a number of forces acting on it, but they cancel one another so that the net force is zero. Newton's first law explains the phenomena of inertia, that is the inability of an object to change its state of motion on its own. It also explains the unbalanced forces which cause a change in the state of an object at rest or in uniform motion. Okay, so we will stop here.